Hello everyone, and welcome to my solo RPG journal. Today we are creating characters for Traveller. Now, Traveller is actually the game that gave me this whole idea in the first place, the whole idea of doing character creation videos, because unlike in something like Dungeons & Dragons or the Warhammer stuff that we've done so far, you don't just go, I'm going to be this race and this class. I'm just going to be a human fighter, or I'm going to be Adeptus Mechanicus tech priest from a Hive world, or whatever it is that we've created in the past. You start and go through a journey. You start at age 18 and you join one of the services. You join the Marines or the Army or the Navy or the Scout Service or the merchant vessel services. And then you do a 4-year term. And you continue this cycle as you build your character up and get them a better position in society and more skills and more abilities. And they get older over time. So you instead create this backstory for this character before you begin, and then you leave the service, and that's when you begin the game. Traveller is a classic game from the late 70s, early 80s, about traveling the universe, set in the distant future in an intergalactic empire. You are a character, or you are as a group of adventurers, journey out on your spaceship, exploring unknown lands and doing other space stuff. It's a classic system for any space opera themed role-playing game. It is also very heavily inspirational to all the other games that you would see that would offer you space RPGs, like Stars Without Number. Stars Without Number being a more old school D&D format or feeling version of Traveller, Traveller being a major inspiration for that game. The old rumor was, I believe, that Firefly was actually Joss Whedon's Traveller game that he and his friends had been playing, and he went and turned it into a movie, or turned it into a TV series. And who knows how true that is, but that was what the rumor was at the time. But for a long time, before Pathfinder had Starfinder, and there were other games hit out there like Ironsworn, Starforged, or whatever. Some of the newer games are in the space opera RPG setting. Before Stars Without Number came along, it was pretty much this was the game that you were playing. It was pretty much Traveller. Or GURPS. GURPS did everything. GURPS had rules for everything, but, GURPS is GURPS, and we're just going to ignore it. So, Traveller. So, I've gone through and created ex-Army Captain Brax, who only did one term, leaving the Army at age 22, but having made the rank of Captain. He got out with a pretty good payout, but only having done one term, he didn't learn a whole lot of stuff, and his stats were not particularly good. So we're going to do another one. We're going to go through this. I'm going to go through quickly how to do it, as opposed to some of the other videos in the past where it's been a first look. This is me creating a character, knowing what I'm doing. So we're going to go through this reasonably quickly, and I'm just going to explain how it works. So the first thing that we do is roll our characteristics. So we've got 6. We've got strength, dexterity, endurance, intelligence, education, and social standing. And I'm sure that you can understand what all of those do just from hearing what they mean, hearing what they're called. Now, each of these can range from 1 and 15 at the end of the day, though after our rolls, it'll be between 2 and 12. So you play Traveller. When you play Traveller, all rolls are basically going to be 2d6, unless you're told otherwise. In this case, character creation, generating characteristics, you roll 2d6 and add them together. So let's see what we've got. So we've got a strength of 9, which is pretty good. Let's see, our dexterity is 5, which is not so great. Oh no, our endurance is 2. Let's see if we can get a better intelligence. Our intelligence is a lot better. I think we've spent all of our time looking at books instead of doing anything else. Just reading, sitting in front of a data slate or whatever it is that they've got in the far future. 7 for education. So I'm smart. Okay, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm very, very smart, but I'm not particularly well educated. Or maybe I didn't have access to the education, because it is your highest level of schooling attained is what it's supposed to represent. So I'm intelligent. I read for myself, but I never had a good access to education. Social standing 4. So that fits with what I was just saying. So we need a name. So let's jump over here and I don't know, male names, female names, Colt. You got any other? Let's try Don John. Space. Denny Wright. Martha Stewart. Azold Terson. Yeah, I like Azold. So we've got Azold Terson. This block here is basically the character stats with the character name, their statistics, age, amount of terms of service, amount of money to their name, important items, and skills. So I'm going to generate this same block, but we'll also see everything play out as we go through. So 952B74. So this is, we're translating these values here into this as hex numbers. So A is 10, B is 11, and F is 15, the maximum number that you can have. And we are currently age 18. We have not yet served any military service. So the next thing that we have to do, noble titles, I don't get one. You automatically get one if you have a social standing of B, C, D, E, or F, or 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. But with my social standing of 4, no such luck. We might gain a rank in a minute, though, as we enlist. So the next thing to do in character creation is to enlist in one of the services. We have the Navy, the Marines, the Army, the Scout Service, Merchants, or Other. So Navy is your Starfleet command kind of thing. Marines are the troops that would be on board those ships, ready to land on planets or conduct space warfare, or land on other ships and that kind of thing. Army, the defense force of a planet. Scout, the Scout Service is, I guess, attached to the Navy or not attached to the Navy. It's still a separate service, looking out through the unknown and uncharted spaces. Merchants is your merchant service, moving around between planets, selling things. Other is anything else. You want to be a criminal or a policeman or something like that, it goes into Other. First of all, we will enlist in one of these services. If we don't, then we're going to get drafted into one of these services. We then check every term. We enlist for a 4-year term. So in my example character that I generated, I did 1 term, hence age 22, mustering out at age 22. In this one, we will do 1 term, and then we will check to see if we survive, because it could be dangerous. We'll try and get a position as an officer, and if so, we'll try and get promotions, and we will re-enlist at the end if possible. So there's a couple of things to notice here. Scouts don't have ranks. So the Navy has ranks ensign through admiral. Marines have ranks lieutenant through brigadier. Army has ranks lieutenant through general. This is probably brigadier general, or but it's just brigadier. I don't know. It just says brigadier there. Scouts, no ranks. The merchants have ranks. They don't have any rank higher than captain or the rank 5. And there are no ranks in the other service either. Mustering out tables are benefits when we leave. So with our stats, we have a really high intelligence. Now, along here, we've got DMs or dice modifiers or whatever it was called to modify our rolls. So to join the Navy, we can get we can enlist in the Navy and on a roll of a 7 as opposed to an 8 because we get a +1 from the intel for having an intelligence of 11. Strength, we've got a strength of 9, so being in the Marines would get in pretty easily. Endurance, our endurance is not great though. The other thing is survival in the Navy. Survival is based on intelligence, so survival would be fairly easy for us. Or again, in the merchants. In fact, if we join the merchants with our character, it would be easier to get in. We'd get in on a roll of a 5, and we would survive on a roll of a 3. So as long as we don't roll 2 1s, we're good. Commission. Ooh, commission in intelligent promotion is both based on intelligence, but that 10, that'll be a 9 to get promotion. That's pretty difficult. That said, the alternative, the other thing we were looking at was the Navy. I mean, if we join the Army, we have to only roll above a 5, but we could still die. Yeah, so I think that Navy or merchants is best. Merchants probably gives us the best chance of getting a officer rank. Navy, we might not get an officer rank because rolling a 10 is going to be difficult. But it could happen. I think let's join the merchants. I'm going to join the merchants because in the next video, spoilers, we might be joining the Navy then. So to join the Navy, we have an intelligence of 11 and a strength of 7. So we've got +3 to our roll, meaning we only have to roll a 4 to get into the merchants. We have successfully enlisted in the merchants with a roll of a 8, which is more than what I needed anyway. I could have gotten in the Navy. Oh well. Now that we're in the merchants, let's see if we survive. We need to roll a 3, which we get a 7, so we're alive, which is pretty good. So let's record this as we're going. Term 1 in the merchants. We survive. Let's try and get a commission. Only have to roll a 4. I have an intelligence of 6, so I only have to roll a 3. I roll a 5, so we are now a 4th officer. Now let's try and get a promotion. We have to roll a 9. We've got a +1 on the roll. We have to roll a 10, but we've got a +1 on the roll for having an intelligence of above 9. So 9 on the dice. Let's go see if we can get a promotion to 3rd officer. Oh god, I manage it with an 11. So that's really good. And do we re-enlist? I have to roll a 4 to re-enlist in the merchants. I roll a 5. We are in the merchants again. Well, we have the ability to re-enlist. So when you roll for re-enlistment, you have to beat the number here, 4, to be allowed to re-enlist. On a 12, you have to re-enlist, end of story. It is mandatory, but because when you beat the number, you get the choice. If you don't beat the number, that's it, you're out. So before we go through, let's work out what skills and benefits we get in our first 4-year term, which we do on the next page. I don't remember what I was going to... What was the last thing? So, because it's our first term in the merchants, we get 2 skills. Because we got commissioned as an officer, we get an extra skill, a 3rd skill. And because we got a promotion, we get another skill. So 4 skills in total. Now, I have an education of 7. Because, yes. So I have an education of 7, which means that this is not available to me. This whole table, I can only choose from these 3 tables. So the first table, personal development table, gives me, I can get strength, dexterity, endurance, or strength. I could get improvements to any of those abilities, any of these 3 numbers. Getting more endurance is probably good. When I start to get old and my endurance goes down, I could potentially die. Blade combat, or I get some blade combat, which is skill with a blade. I do have to pick, or bribery. If I look at the service skills table, I can get experience with a vehicle, experience with a vacuum skill suit. The Jack of Trades, I'm guessing, skill. I don't know what that is. A steward skill, an electronic skill, and a gun combat skill. And my advanced education table, I can get streetwise, mechanical, electronic, navigation, gunnery, or medical experience. So let's have a look. First of all, let's roll on the personal development table. Personal development is good. 1, I get +1 to strength. So first of all, I get +1 strength. This is going to take my strength to 10 or to A. My age is now 22, by the way, as I have spent 1 term in the merchants thing, and I did get a rank and a promotion, so I am 3rd officer, merchant, 3rd. What's the abbreviation for officer? I know there's an abbreviation for officer, and I don't know what it is. Merchant 3rd officer, Assault Turson. So I'm going to roll on personal development again. 2, +1 to dexterity, which is also good. Part of me's trying to get that endurance. I think I will go service skill. So I get electronics 1. So +1 to dex and electronics, which will give me a electronics 1. And for my last roll, I'm probably going to re-enlist. I'm allowed to re-enlist, so I'm probably going to re-enlist. So let's go personal development 1 more time. 1 again for another +1 to strength. Okay, so in Asold's first term as a merchant in the merchant service, he has gotten a commission as an officer and gotten promoted to a third class officer, third officer, whatever the rank is, a third officer in the merchant thing. He's picked up some skills with electronics, and but otherwise his job is pretty physical. He's lifting a lot, moving a lot of stuff around, and has gotten quite a lot stronger and more. I don't want to say dexterous. There's another word. There is another word, and it's escaped me. More dexterous. Anyway. Me remember things? Oh no. Who would have thunk it? So, we are going to re-enlist. Oh, rank and service table. Merchant first officer. So I'm not a Navy captain. I'm not a Navy admiral. I'm not a Marine. Not a Marine lieutenant, lieutenant. Not an army. Not in the army. Not an army lieutenant. I have not made merchant first officer yet, and I am not a scout. So we come back up to re-enlist. We have rolled this and we did succeed. So we are allowed to re-enlist. And we will do so for a second term in the merchant service. So do we survive? We need to roll a 5. We have an intelligence of 11. So we actually need to roll a 3. So as long as I don't roll 2 1s, we're good. I did not roll 2 1s. I rolled 2 3s. So we survive. We already have a commission. Let's see if we can get a promotion. To get a promotion, we need to roll a 9. We've got an intelligence of +9, so therefore we get +1 to our rolls. So our target of 10 becomes a 9 on the dice. I get 10 exactly, rolling 2 5s. So we will get that promotion, which is lucky because otherwise we would only get 1 skill this term of service. So let's roll again to re-enlist, for the option to re-enlist. We roll a 6. We needed a 4, so we get the option of re-enlisting again. So coming back down, so we are now merchant officer, second officer, Asold Turson. We are now 26 years of age and have served 2 terms. We get to do 2 rolls. I really want that endurance. I really want to roll a 3 on this roll. So we're rolling on the personal development table. We get 2 rolls. I get a 1. So I'm increasing my strength again. Which isn't great, because do I really need a strength of 12? So I'm going to instead invest. I'm going to go service skill. Use the service skill table again. I roll a 1 on the service skill table, which I think is what I rolled something else. So I get vehicle, which will get me the vehicle skill at a rank of 1. And we go back up to re-enlist. So in Asold's second term, he does well for himself, getting another promotion. He's still moving stuff around, and he's now driving some of the vehicles. Driving some vehicles as well as just lifting stuff. So we've re-enlisted. We're choosing to do that. We're doing a 3rd term of service. Let's see if we survive on a 3. That's a 7, so that's clear survival. We will get to 30 years old at the end of term 3. Can I get a promotion? I need to roll a 9. See if I can get to be a first officer. Oh, a 12. I'm rolling really well here. Yeah, this is pretty good. So, I am now a first officer. Assault Turson. Which means that I get another two rolls here. Let's do the service skill table first. I didn't write down promotion. Oh, I haven't rolled for, so I rolled a 3. I'll come back to this. I just rolled a 3. Let's put that down here. Let's do the re-enlistment roll. Okay, so I got an 8 on the re-enlistment roll. I needed a 4, so I'm allowed to re-enlist again for a 4th term of service, should I wish to. So, I rolled a 3 on the service skill table, which is Jack OT. I don't know what that is. Jack OT. Let's have a look down here. Computer electronics. Gambling leader. Medical navigation. Here we go. Jack of all trades. The individual is proven capable of handling a wide variety of situations and is resourceful in finding solutions and remedies. The well-rounded individual, the Renaissance man, so to speak, is uncommon in all societies, but is naturally proficient when he or she occurs. The skill is generally a general ability which may be applied to nearly any endeavor at the discretion of the referee. The Jack of all trades can attempt activity which is not normally possible due to the absence of skills or expertise. Unskilled people have no idea how to even start many projects. Jack of all trades can apply this skill to such a project as if he or she has the skill. Jack of all trades can be considered to confer the skill level 0 in every other skill, but never level 1. Okay. So skill level 1, you're actually trained in it and good at it. Skill level 0 is you can actually do things. I think that some things require you to have skill level 0 in them in order to even attempt to do them. So, for example, one of a group of adventurers arrives at an aging crisis. Page 8. While on an expedition into the wilds of an unsettled planet. No one has medical expertise. Jack of all trades can be applied as a substitute for medical skill in this situation. The referee should assume that the person has studied independently at some point of time or has seen such a crisis previously and knows something of what to do. They watched a YouTube video. It's fine. When using Jack of all trades skill, the referee should also consider appropriate personal characteristics, intelligence, education, availability of equipment, drugs, medical instruments, and other factors, weather, shelter, specific situations. Jack of all trades, however, is never sufficient for an individual to achieve standing in another skill. Use of a skill in medical situations does not imply medic skill. Use of the skill to pilot a ship in emergency does not imply pilot skill. Okay. Jack of all trades 1. And do I try for... Yeah, I'm gonna try for a personal development table again. I want a 3. I got a 2. +1 to dexterity. Putting my dexterity up to 7. So I've got a strength of 12, a dexterity of 7, an endurance of 2, an intelligence of 11, an education of 7, and a social standing of 4. At the end of this term of service, I am age 30, having spent 3 terms in the merchant's corps, in the merchant service, getting to the rank of first officer. I'm pretty well all-rounded and able to do most things with my jack-of-all-trades skill, but I'm particularly good at driving and at electronics. Now, do I want to go for a 4th term? I think the smart thing to do here is to actually leave and start the campaign. I've got a really good strength. I'm pretty smart. I've got a couple of skills, but I haven't hit the aging. In the next 4 years, if I do another thing, I have to roll for aging. So where's the aging table? Here we go. At the end of your 4th term of service, or at age 34, you have to roll for your strength, your dexterity, or your endurance. If you fail that roll, you get -1 to that score. So my strength could come down to 11. Oh no. My dexterity could come down to 6. Oh no, that's what it was just a minute ago. My endurance would go down to 1. I don't really know if that's a good thing or not. If your endurance gets to 0, then this aging crisis stuff happens and there's a chance that you die. So I could die through that, or I could die another way. But I think that probably the thing to do here, we'll do the smart thing. We won't take the risk. We're just going to muster out. So we are choosing to muster out as a first officer at the end of the 4th term of service. No, at the end of the 3rd term of service. So we won't get, I think it's 4 terms of service in order to retire. So we won't be retiring. But we have done 3 terms of service. Here we go, mustering out benefits. We have done 3 terms of service. So we get 3. We have achieved merchant rank 3, which is first officer. So that gets another 2. So we've got 5 different rolls to make on the table of on the mustering out tables. So let's roll on the benefits table. Benefits table for merchants. 1. We get low passage. Let's roll on the cash table. I want to get a good amount of cash. 3. So that's 10,000. CR 10,000. Let's roll on the benefits table again. So we've got 5 rolls. I've done 2. So the benefits table on my 3rd roll gives me a 4, which is I get a gun. I get to walk out with a gun. I'm going to try on the benefits table one more time. Really hoping I get a blade. I was honestly hoping for a 6 because then I get a free trader ship. But we didn't get that. We're instead going to roll on the cash table again and get a 1, which is only 1,000 credits. So we have a total of CR 11000 to our name. We have to choose. I'm not going to put the low passage on here because, it's pretty useless. In fact, I'm going to sell it. Traveler's Aid, passages, middle passage, low passage. Low passage costs 1,000 credits if purchased, and I think I can sell cashed out at 90% of their value. So I'm straight out just going to cash that out for 900 credits, and we're going to take, I'm pretty strong. I'm going to take a cutlass because I can. And I'm going to take... I don't have any skills in any particular weapons. A body pistol. I'm going to take a revolver. I mean, I'm straight out not going to get any benefits for any of these things, but I'm also not going to get any... Take a body pistol. I'm going to take an auto pistol. There you go. And we have merchant. It's now ex-merchant. Ex-merchant captain. Ex-merchant first officer. Isolde Turson. With a strength of 12, a dexterity of 7, an endurance of 2, intelligence of 11, an education of 7, and a social standing of 4. At age 30, after doing 3 terms in the merchant service, has mustered out for a payout of 11,900 credits, a cutlass and an auto pistol. He has learnt electronics and vehicles, skills with electronics and vehicles, but also has a good amount of expertise with basically doing anything after his, 12 years of service. Ready to start adventuring on the, I don't know where. Maybe we can do a video creating planets or a system. Maybe we'll see what happens. Anyway, this has been a bit of fun. Hopefully this was useful. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you're thinking about playing Traveller, you now have an idea of how character creation works. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.